I don't even know where to start. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Comic Book Bob, and I just got done watching Dark Phoenix, and I don't even know how to describe how disappointing this movie is. It's not, and here's the thing. It's not even that it's that bad. It's bad, but it's not the worst X-Men film I've ever seen. Age of Apocalypse is still far worse. But it's just such a letdown, considering that this is the second time Fox has tried to tackle this story, and they just absolutely shit the bed. And what a way for the X-Men franchise to go out. And at this point, I don't know if the MCU can salvage this. Honestly, I really don't. I mean, the last couple of movies and the general X-Men genre has been such a letdown. And that's, I mean, there have been good X-Men films. There have been good films. There's some great films, actually. The original X-Men was, for its time, I was excited to see that movie, and I was not. I mean, yeah, it wasn't exactly what I wanted, and it could have been better, in my opinion. But given the fact that that was the first movie they were taking a chance with, I was happy with it. X2 was decent. I mean, it was far more of an X-Men film than the first one. And, I mean, again, even with its problems. But starting with X3 was dog shit. And then X-Men Origins Wolverine came out, and it was not good. Hugh Jackman's awesome, period. He makes even bad movies tolerable. So, X-Men Origins Wolverine was tolerable. And then they did, and then again they got back on track with X-Men Origins, the original, well, not X-Men Origins, but with First Class. First Class was a great movie. It's a fantastic movie, even with the changes that they made. It was a good movie. X-Men Days of Future Past. Again, Bryan Singer gets in there, and that movie was tolerable again because of the actors in it, and it did have some really cool scenes. Hugh Jackman, Michael Fassbender, the scenes with Quicksilver, Peter Evans, and I'm blanking on the guy who played Xavier, even though James McAvoy, what the hell is wrong with me? Oh God, this movie's got me all out of sorts. Great actors, fantastic actors. Jennifer Lawrence, until recently, great actor. We get these highs that show us how good this franchise could be, and then they just drop us right into the cellar. And that's what this movie is. This movie it's not even that, like I said, it's not even that it's the worst X-Men movie. It's just god-awful disappointing. So, by the way, I'm going to spoil the shit out of this movie because I don't want you to spend your money on it. I don't want you... Save your money. Seriously. Go see Godzilla. Go see Aladdin. There's better stuff to watch right now. This movie, if you're curious about it, wait till it hits video, man, because it's not going to be long. So, to get into it, the story opens up, and the X-Men are now heroes. They're actually seen by the world in a positive light, which is good because they've beaten the world that hates and fears them. They've beaten that to death. They've absolutely beaten that to death. And to address the controversial line that Jennifer Lawrence says, there is an overarching narrative of, you know, misogyny, you know, men bad, women good, that kind of thing. It's not as prevalent as it seems. Most of it comes, well, actually almost all of it comes from Jennifer Lawrence, but she's not in the movie very much. And that's another thing that they did, is they're showing, you know, like they're showing her as Mystique, McAvoy's Xavier, Fassbender's Magneto, I can't remember the name of the guy who played Ready Player One version Cyclops, and Peter Evans as Quicksilver. Evans, Cyclops, and Mystique, they're not in the movie very much. In fact, Peter Evans' Cyclops character, he's gone 90% of the movie. He's not there. He's there at the beginning, he gets hurt, and then he shows up at the very, very, very end. So the thing that they kind of were, that everybody kind of recognizes as one of the most fun aspects of the last two movies, even though the last one sucked balls, is gone. It's not there. But the X-Men, they're recognized as heroes. They make Xavier out to have things kind of like a big head, and Mystique, obviously, you know, she's upset about it. She's actually getting ready to leave the team. You know, she says that cringy line. And then they have a space mission where they go into orbit to save some astronauts, and that's when Jean gets hit by the Phoenix Force, which is never called the Phoenix Force. It's not even addressed as the Phoenix Force. She's never called, the movie's called Dark Phoenix. She's never called Dark Phoenix even once. Not even once. In fact, the whole Phoenix thing is just like a little witty little banter thing that they talk about at a party, and that's it. That's it. So she gets the Phoenix Force. Her powers get super ramped up. She starts unraveling these blocks, and this is where the evil of Professor Xavier is exposed. Basically, it turns out that Jean Grey's dad is abusive because, you know, misogyny, and didn't want her. And Xavier blocked that from her mind and blocked the fact that she accidentally killed her mother to protect Jean. But he also made her think that her father was dead, which he wasn't, but he did so to protect her because the guy's a piece of shit. This is the great evil. This is the terrible thing that Xavier has done. He took this girl whose father was abusive and horrible, and he gave her a better home and a better family, and he took away this horrible memory because with it she was going to be absolutely crushed. The fact that she murdered her mother. This is just great evil. Now, you could argue that point, but then the guy who literally in this movie has erased the whole hated and feared thing. Mutants are accepted by the world now. He's done all these amazing things, but he's the bad guy. He's the monster, which is so stupid. You know, I mean, questionable actions, maybe. Questionable actions, yeah, maybe. But done in good faith and in an attempt to heal. But of course, he's the father figure, and the father figure has to be evil in this movie. Like I said, it's not super heavy, but it's there and it's unavoidable. So then, again, like I said, at this party, which, by the way, there's a segment of the party that is the best. There's one shining moment in this movie. And it's there that we're introduced to Jessica Chastain's character, who is absolutely a block of freaking wood in this movie. It's fitting that she's playing some kind of a gray race, like the Greys, you know, because that is what her character is. Her character is gray. It is bland. Most of this movie is bland. That's what I'm saying. It's not terrible. It's not the worst not even the worst X-Men movie I've ever seen. It's just bland and it's boring. So that's where we're introduced to Jessica Chastain's alien race. I don't even remember the name of the alien race. I checked out of this movie halfway through. But it's this moment that we get something that a lot of fans have been asking for, and we get this really cool Dazzler moment. Dazzler is actually in the movie for a few minutes, and then she's gone. So at this party, Jean kind of, wigs out a little bit, and she hurts Scott, and because of this, she's terrified of her powers. So she goes running to Magneto, who's now in such a low budget version of Genosha. Like, you could tell that this movie, literally, they slashed the budget on this movie. And you can tell that this movie was, because there's a report coming out that this movie, they were literally reshooting and rewriting the movie on the fly. And it shows. It really, really shows, because this movie feels so disjointed. So she goes there, and he's like, "No, you got to leave. I got to deal with the government. We're trying to live in peace here. You're here to start shit. I don't want anything to do with it." Military shows up. She goes Dark Phoenix and wrecks one of the helicopters and kills a couple people, and Magneto's like, "Yeah, you gotta go." So then she leaves and she goes to find her dad, and the X-Men show up to try to stop her, and Mystique has her big preachy scene, and then Jean kills her. Thank God. And then this is where then Beast starts attacking Charles in Mystique's place. He goes to join Magneto. He tells Magneto that Jean killed Mystique, and this sets them both off, and they go to find Jean to kill her. Meanwhile, Jean is hooked up with alien gray Jessica Chastain, and she basically explains to her that her race was destroyed by the Phoenix, that Jean is the first time that the Phoenix hasn't destroyed everything that it's touched, and they want to use Earth to restart their race, using the Phoenix as the basis of doing this. And this is when she goes full-on Dark Phoenix. Magneto and his little band show up, and they try to kill her. She kicks the shit out of them. The other X-Men show up. And this all happened, but actually this is where they have their big fight. Xavier, after getting his ass handed to him by everybody else in the movie, and then literally by the Phoenix, he finally breaks through to her, and she stops it. But then everybody ends up getting captured by the military, and they're on this train. It's very similar to the scene in X3, which is no surprise because the same guy wrote that piece of shit. He wrote this. And the Greys attack. All the X-Men, all the mutants team up. They fight the aliens off. The aliens kill all the military people, so it basically sets the clock back to zero, where everybody hates and fears the mutants. And then Jean grabs Jessica Chastain's character and decides, well, I'm too powerful, I'm too dangerous. She flies into space and she kills herself. And this is how the X-Men franchise ends. At least the Fox version. And if this review sounded like me rambling, it's because this fucking movie is just... This movie is like the demented ramblings of a mental patient. It's literally like someone sat there and was just writing stuff on a notepad as the movie was moving. Oh, this would be good shit right here. That's what this movie is. And the budget, I don't know what's going on with the budget of this film. The effects are awful. I feel terrible for McAvoy and Fassbender because they are trying. They really are trying to work with what they're being given. They're just not being given much of anything. And once again, Fox has taken one of the greatest X-Men stories, one of the three, in my opinion, the three greatest X-Men stories of all time, and one of the 10 greatest comic book stories of all time, and they have just shit the bed with it. And this is how it ends. And I'm looking, and here's the thing, they can't do this again. They cannot do the Dark Phoenix story again. I don't see how they could do it without people immediately going, are you kidding me? You're going to do this story again? You've done this thing twice, and it sucked both times. They have poisoned the well for this story, and potentially poisoned the well for the X-Men. If they're even called the X-Men by the time woke MCU makes a freaking film, I mean, I'm so disappointed in this movie. Oh my God. I'm not even angry, I'm just sad. Save your money, guys. Seriously. I don't want it to sound like I'm hating on this movie, but I hate this movie. It's so depressingly bland and oh, jeez. Jennifer Lawrence, I love you, woman. I really do. I love the Hunger Games. I love the Hunger Games. I love every interview that they had with her during that period of her life. She looked like she was having so much fun. She just looked so happy and energetic and friendly. And she just turned into this angry person. And I can't remember the name of the guy that wrote this fucking movie, but dude, I feel sick. Anyway, guys, don't spend your money on this movie. It's not worth it. You'll just, chances are, if you're watching my channel and you're listening to this review, you're probably going to think along similar lines as me. This movie's going to depress you. It's so bad. And just if you're, like I said, if you're curious, just wait till it comes out on video, because it ain't gonna be long, and watch it that way. But yeah, that's my opinion of Dark Phoenix. What could have been, you know? You look at movies like Logan and Deadpool and First Class, and you see what could have been, and this is where we end. But thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to this depressing ass rant, I'm sure. If you like this kind of content, you want to see more of it, leave a suggestion below. Like and subscribe. It always helps the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll be doing another video here shortly. I'm actually going to do a comic book review. I don't like doing comic book reviews in the middle of stories. That's why there's a lot of time in between them. But I'm going to be doing a review of Heroes in Crisis, which is another depressing situation. And I'm tired of waiting, so I'm just going to give a wrap-up on Doomsday Clock and a couple other things. So there'll be more videos coming, but I appreciate you guys being here. Again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at Homecoming. Homecoming, shit. Far From Home. It's that kind of a day. Have a good one, guys. Bye.